Had to make an adjustment somewhere.
And it was me, right? Because we are allowed to change,
Yes.
right? We're allowed to change. We're allowed to adjust. When you write down what you want and then you adjust and change your life to do those things and you put action behind that stuff, good stuff happens. Good stuff happens.
The Eric Bam, welcome to the Pizza King podcast. Thank you for joining me today, my friend. For the 3 or 4 people listening who probably don't know who you are, could you give us a brief introduction or a long one?
Sure.
Take whatever you want.
Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Perfect Crust Pizza Liners, and that's my job. But that's not who I am. I'm a father. I have 3 wonderful kids. I've got a grandkid on the way, which is so cool.
Nice.
Nicholas married to Janae. They have a baby on the way. And then I started over and I've got a 13 and a 6-year-old, which is Ruby and Elena. And that's who I am, but what I do every day is Perfect Crust Pizza Liners, which is, these bad boys right here. Everybody knows what they are. I'm an author, written a few books, and you know what? I'm a guy that gets up every day that, I'm optimistic, right? I get up every day and I got some basic things I do in my life every day. I pray every day. I try to lift up my friends every day, try to lift up people in the pizza community every day. And then I get lucky to be invited to be on things like this with you.
Look, I'm the one I'm lucky.
No, I'm the lucky one, dude. I tell you what, I tell everybody all the time, I live a charmed life, man. I do. I know the best of the best pizza people in the world, and I get to eat pizza all the time and talk about pizza, and my life is flexible, and I work from home, and man, nobody's got it better than us. And we say that all the time at Perfect Crust. Nobody's got it better than us.
Well, I mean, what a great deal that you have there. And Perfect Crust, listen, we all know. I think I've seen a video with you and Bausch actually, like, dude, we're not talking about why you should get the liner anymore. That makes no sense. Like, dude, you should just have it. How did you find your way to Perfect Crust?
Great question. I worked for a food distributor for 20 years, a national food distributor, and had just kind of one of those moments where I thought, I think it's time to go. And I'd always done a great job of having manufacturers in the car with our sales team. And Perfect Crust was one of them. Shout out to Dave Trumbull, who used to work for Perfect Crust back in the day. Shout out to my boss, Nick Hedlund. They were always in the car with our people. And so I sat there on a Wednesday evening and thought, I think it's time to do something a little different. And so having great relationships, I sat there in bed and I sent a text message out to 15 manufacturers and said, think about looking for something. If you know of anything, let me know. And the next morning I woke up to 7 job offers forward writing already. And one was here, and best decision ever. I love it. It was the right time, right place, and right thing for me and my skill set and connecting with people. I mean, shout out to my boss, Nick Hedlund. He is awesome to work with. And I started to say work for. I do work for him, but we work together, and we talk about that with our team. We stand shoulder to shoulder every day, and we just get out and get after it. But that's how I got here. And I tell you what, man, 6.5 years in, I wish I'd been here for 16 years. I love it.
What have you seen change over that time, like from where you started to where you are now?
What do you mean by that? Just in the pizza industry?
In the industry, adoption of the product,
Gotcha.
just like we were just talking about, how much social media plays a part into how we stay connected these days.
Right. A lot's changed, right? I mean, you think about in the 6.5 years, we didn't have AI. We didn't have Chat GPT. Right. It's amazing how much things have changed. I will tell you, this was something I brought up last week. I got invited to be a guest on the World Pizza Champions meeting. And I brought this up and I said, I think this is important because I follow all of them on social. And I think the price of admission is having great food. They all post pictures of great pizza, right? That's the price of admission. But the generations that are following us now, like my son who's 28, who's probably on but he's, I think, Gen Z or whatever he is. But then I've got a 13-year-old who's whatever her generation is. And one of the misses in social right now that I see is that, I posted pizza. Okay. Well, guess what? I have a 13-year-old daughter she's introverted, but not at all. Okay. I have a 28-year-old son, and those kids, before they go to eat at your restaurant, they're going to look you up.
Yes.
And shame on you if all you're doing is posting a picture of pizza. What you need to be doing is you need to be having a video of, hey, when you walk into our restaurant, here's Susie at the receptionist area. She's going to seat you. Or it could be, hey, this is John, the bartender. John, what's the drink of the day? And it's John. You've got to make the next couple of generations feel so comfortable that before they even walk in your door, they know they have a comfort level. They know what to expect.
And it takes getting out of your comfort zone to do that.
It
Sometimes
definitely
some folks
does.
turn on the camera and they're just a natural and they didn't even know it. So it's just
That's
so
you,
easy
right?
for them. But yeah, well,
That's you.
I'll show you some of the old ones.
I've done that too, where I've done podcast stuff where you go back and you watch the first ones, and you're like, man, I was awful, right?
It needed to happen though. It needed
Yeah,
to happen in order to get to the point where I could just hit go and we can talk.
yeah.
People say it to me all the time, like, I don't know how you make these videos. Like, dude, just turn the camera on and you
Start
can
talking.
edit out the bad stuff later if you need to.
Yeah, 100%. But I will, just to come back to that question, what's changed? I think I got here pre-COVID.
Mhm.
Okay. COVID hits. And I've always felt like this because I've worked around pizza operators forever. And I don't know another person in the restaurant world, whether it be a Mexican restaurant or a steakhouse or fish and chips or whatever, that put as much love and time and heart and soul and care into what they do. Right. And yet there's still operators that will do that. And then they'll be on DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever. And they'll put that pizza in a box and they don't care.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm clearly biased. Right. But you should be doing this, or you should be doing safety stickers, or shame on any operator out there that's still using a 9x9 foam container. Upgrade your packaging, make it look great, make it better, because the reality is this: when that food gets there, and if it's not hot, or if it doesn't look good, or if the packaging looks like garbage, they don't 1-star Yelp review DoorDash. They 1-star Yelp review you.
Yes, every
And so
time.
you've got to do everything within your power to protect all that love and heart and soul. And I don't care whether you're Tony Gemignani in California or you're somebody in Manchester, New Hampshire. You've got to put everything you can into protecting the integrity of your food.
So you're in sales and you've been doing sales for a long time. How do you get someone over that hump that, you know, I know pizzeria owners and I've been on the other side of these conversations too, afraid to make an investment because if it seems like it's working, right? It seems like it's okay and we're, relatively successful with the way we've been doing it. Why do we need to add more cost when everything else is going up?
Well, I would say this: number one, I am in sales, but I stopped selling a long time ago.
Right?
So I'm not the guy that's going to walk in like, sell me this pen. I'm not going. That's
You
not
don't
us.
want it, you don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, there's truth to that. Like, if you don't see the value in it, there are some people you'll never make see the value in it. But I will tell you this: one of the things we do, if you say like, man, like I don't know, well, let's just give you 5 free cases. Try it. And at the end of 5 free cases, which is 1,200 liners, if you don't see the win in it, you never will.
Yeah.
So you know what? I don't sell like that anymore. I mean, if it's a real nuts and bolts conversation about like, all right, we want the product, how do we make this work? A
Right.
lot of times right now, it's like, look, and this is another miss for pizza operators, and I'll tell you in a second. But I will say, what are you charging for that pizza on DoorDash or Uber Eats? And if they say, well, $22 or $22.50, make it $22.75.
Cover your liner.
Cover the liner, be done with it. This is not even a quarter, but cover the liner and move on with it. And here's the miss, and I see it all the time in the pizza world, right? COVID hits and Uber Eats and DoorDash go crazy, but the pizza operator, you lived this. Did you do your own delivery when you had your place? Pizza people looked at it and said, we can't charge that. Our customers won't pay that. Well, they do pay that, because guess what? I have DoorDash. I have Dash Pass. I DoorDash more than I care to admit. And I'll tell you what, I never get on DoorDash and go, let me find the cheapest pepperoni pizza.
No, so
I know exactly. I know I want Savastano's pizza. I order it because it's a convenience. It's
yes.
convenience for me, and I'll pay for it. And I'll tell you what, I said this to somebody a couple weeks ago. They said, no way. I said, I even validate it in my head sometimes, where I got 2 daughters, hey, don't judge me or throw stones, but they love Chili's. So we'll DoorDash Chili's. And I'll tell you how I validate it in my head. I'm like, well, if we went to Chili's, I'd be paying $3.50 a drink for 3 drinks that I'm not getting, and I'd be leaving a tip for that I'm not, and then I'd probably get suckered into my youngest daughter playing that stupid game, the little you know what I mean? So I
Yep.
validate in my head and go, well, especially like with drinks, if I know I'm not paying for drinks, like, well, that's going to offset,
I
you
kind of
know?
saved a little bit here.
Yeah. Pizza operators need to not be afraid to charge a little more for better packaging, right? And put it on the DoorDash, put it on the Uber Eats price, because I'm telling you, as a consumer, consumers are not on there looking for the cheapest pepperoni pizza.
No, total convenience play. And honestly, the way the world is and how fast things move, it's maybe the best way to get discovered. If you need to, it's just the cost of acquiring a new customer. Yeah, you could probably win them over, but what we seen increase in delivery on the third party side and sharp decline in delivery on the first party side. So we had to find a way to work those two models together
Yeah, no
because they
doubt.
drivers are just making more money, doing gig work and not having to wash dishes and take trash out or sweep floors. They loved it because they can stay in their cars. I totally understand it from that standpoint.
The customer, I won't say who it is. We have a Perfect Crust customer that he did his own delivery for a long time. And he finally just like, we're done. We're not going to do it. And he went to Uber Eats and DoorDash, signed up with both of them.
Mhm.
And you know what he did? He got his mom. His mom sits out in the dining room, and if an order pops up, she accepts it. She delivers it. She's making money on the Uber Eats DoorDash side of it. And he knows he's got somebody quality that's still delivering it,
Yeah.
you know? And so he loves it. I thought, well, that's kind of brilliant.
That's a hell of a way to game the system. I love it.
I love it too. I was like, well, smart. Like, how have I never thought about this? I will tell you one of the other tidbits. I throw this out all the time. Is I don't know if you've heard of Easy Cater, Easy
Love it.
Easy Cater,
Love Easy
and
Cater.
so many
One of my
pizza
favorite
operators tell
brands.
them you've got to be on Easy Cater because they are contracted with I want to say it's like 3 of the top 5 or 4 of the top 5 pharmaceutical companies. If you're not on Easy Cater, you will never ever ever get that business.
And you're
And the
not
cool
you're not getting them off of Easy Cater. You just have to play the game there.
Yep. Yep. And it's so cool because there are some of the cool things about Easy Cater versus like a DoorDash is that the Easy Cater customer, that pharmaceutical rep, is probably going to place that order 3-4 days out, right? And then they leave a nice tip because it's company card, and then you have the option to deliver it if you want or not. It's just such a win. Operators have got to be on Easy Cater. Have to.
We average order Easy Cater at our place $285.
Yes. That's the
Average
other thing.
average ticket. And you can set your lead time as far out as you need to. I don't recommend going too far out, but you can set your lead time, you can you can raise your prices, you can set your delivery fee, you can set zones, $20 delivery fee, $30 fee. It's such a win for
Yep.
restaurants. If
Yep.
anybody out there is not doing Easy Cater, I highly recommend. I wish I had a referral link, but
You're
yeah.
right. You're right. We need that's the one. Well, one of the other cool things about Easy Cater too that I see some of the successful people that use it is you'll have your regular menu, right? But then do like a bulk, like 3 pizzas, a large salad, and and put a nice price on it because the pharmaceutical rep doesn't care. He or she wants to go, boop,
They
done.
want it easy. They want to order it and know that it's going to be there on time
Yep.
and accurate. And a lot of times we'll show up and the folks, they have no idea. Like who ordered it for us? Oh, Eric
Right.
ordered us food. Thank you. You
Right.
just drop it off and they love you. So you start to make friends at these places. You leave your menus and they start telling the reps where to get the food from. It's a great play for folks who are trying to build catering. I mean, don't do it on your own. Go get a partner. Even better
Mhm.
than Uber Eats, in my opinion,
I agree.
because the ticket size is so huge and the customer is oftentimes remote. They just
Yeah.
and they'll
Yeah.
call you and get a receipt. That's it.
Yep. Yep. Send me the receipt. I'm good. Well, and the other cool thing, you are an operator and you know this. Like if you walk into your pizzeria on a Wednesday morning and you've got an Easy Cater order for $400, right? That order paid for the labor for the day
Before you even open.
before you even open, right? It's such a huge win. I can't express enough that pizza operators need. And by the way, if you're rural operators do even better on it
No
because
competition.
there's no competition out in rural America. That the pharmaceutical rep, the only option that some of those areas may have had in the past was Subway. So now if I'm in rural, Oklahoma where I am, or rural Tennessee or wherever, you might be shocked at the amount of business you get off of Easy Kit.
Yeah, yeah, I love Easy Cater. There's rewards. There's so many different ways to give back to the customer and incentivize them to order. We started to do orders through Relish, which is an Easy Cater program as
Mhm.
well, where they do
Yep.
individual meals. Where now you can do group orders for an office, and they just kind of chain them together, and
Yep.
it's a little bit more work
Awesome.
on our side, but so worth it. So worth it. I ran
100%.
I ran in a, fast food brand here for a few years. We had about 15 locations, and they thought I was crazy. Like, we're not gonna sell big Bufords on we're not gonna no one's gonna buy cake. And sure enough,
Yeah.
100 hot dogs, 100, hamburgers, 100 fries.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
are you serious? Yes. And people do it because it was cool. That was almost a novelty.
Yeah.
And
I'll
they
tell
were
you, I was talking to, maybe you probably did this too, but I was talking to name drop world pizza champion Dave Whisker with BC Pizza yesterday, and we were talking about some of the stuff they do and how they make their ranch in house and they sell it by the quart. They sell
mm,
their pizza sauce by the quart. Like those things that you may not have on your online ordering, man, put it on there. What does it hurt?
it's a
What does it
total
hurt?
game changer. Total
Right.
game changer.
Right.
I love that. I had no idea we were even going to go that way, but that's some of those are the things that we love to talk about and teach because they're game changers for operators. And if that's the kind of stuff that you're talking about, none of what we just said in the last 5 or 6 minutes has anything to do with Perfect Crust.
No.
I think that's super cool because
Yeah,
you're just there to
I
help.
don't know if we talked about this before or before we started recording, but for us, I think we sell perfect crust pizza liners, and it's one of the very few things. If you look back to your pizzeria when you had it, like there are very few things in that pizzeria that are actually a choice, right? It is a choice to use this. Right. You have to have cheese. You have to have pepperoni. You could have a chicken, beef, comma, pork pepperoni, and it could be greasy as all get out and not be the you could be the least expensive option out there, but you still have to have round red pepperoni, right? And so this is a choice. And so for us, a lot of times, I want people to use this, obviously, but we need to be more of a resource and to say, hey, are you looking at Easy Cater? No, what's that? Hey, hey, I'm looking for some help on Reggiano Parmesan. Hey, I know a guy. Hey, we want some exposure for our store. Hey, have you met this guy? Or hey, we're struggling with operations. Hey, I know a guy. And for us, it's those are wins for us all the time that our team is always talking about. We've got to be more than just one dimensional. We've got to be more than just selling bumpy paper because we are more than that. And so it's about, how can we help? How can we help? And so things like Easy Cater having this conversation, it helps.
Yeah, I love that. And a lot of folks that are, now because pizza's kind of the darling on social media right now, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's so cool!" And there's a lot of hype about the community and how everyone supports each other. What doesn't get highlighted are the connectors that make this happen behind the scene. And I just want to say now that I appreciate you for being that type of person.
No, thank you. You got me on here.
So
So
that's a
I'm
big deal.
excited. No, thank you. Like I said, and I've been in the pizza community for so long that I, you know, I interviewed Polly G back during COVID. I went live on Instagram every day for like 4 months, and I interviewed Polly G one day, and I said the pizza industry, and he said no, it's the pizza community. It's a community, and I've never forgotten that, and because it's true, and I've
Yes.
never been around a group having worked for a food distributor nationally where different segments. I've never been around a group, a community that supports each other more. And I live here in Tulsa. Savastano's Pizza is a mile from me, and they're a mile down the road from her is a place called the Pizza Shop. And they had their pizza oven go out one day, and their pizza oven was out for 3 or 4 days, something like that. And Jennifer Savastano was the first one when they reopened to get on social media and say, "Go visit them."
Yes.
Go see them, you know? And it didn't hurt her. And it did, you know what? But it's that's this community. And that's what I love about it. They're so quick to help. And whether it's in the same city or it's in a different state, they're so quick to help. And it's just awesome. Such a fun group to be around.
I agree, and I love it. It's been a lot of fun for me kind of coming out of the shell and getting to know more folks and traveling and visiting more shops because it has all been met with a warm embrace, and I love it. one of the things that I love about your social is that you always start the day with some positivity or some
Heck yeah.
encouragement. How did you decide to get to that? And I know that's probably part of what your big day wisdom is about. How did you start to do that?
I think misery loves company, right? But so does
For sure.
positivity. So does
Yes.
positivity. And so I can have a day. I mean, I think this morning or yesterday I wrote blessed to get another day, right?
Hmm.
Or sometimes it could be what's on my mind, or it could be just rolling over and grabbing my phone and just Googling like, hey, tell me something good today. Right. Or getting on, looking at this and sharing a post out of this book. Right. And, and I think you could get on social media this morning and you could say, man, the weather sucks and this sucks and I hate Wednesdays. And you'll get the, man, you're so right today. They will line up to tell you how right you are that today sucks. Right. But
Yes.
then you can also get on there and put the next day, man, today's amazing. I'm so excited. And it'd be the same people. You're so right, man. Today is awesome. And it's like, and so for me, very, every day, every first thing in the morning, I'm posting something positive, right? And
Yes.
sometimes I'm a very optimistic person by nature. So about 80% of the time, that's me being like, let's go, like, ooh, get fired up and get in the shower and get rolling, right? But the 20% of the time when I post something, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to post something positive, and then my friends are going to be like, hey, you got this. Today's going to be awesome. You're right. Today's great. And that fires you up.
Yes, it does.
That fires you up, And
Absolutely.
so it's something, actually, I have it right here in my pocket. I'll pull this out and show you. It's one of the things I do every day. I have a goal card here in my pocket. It's laminated. Okay. Front side. And on the top, I've got things that I do. If I do these things every day, the things that I want, the goal stuff that I want in my life, I will get. And so it's up at 4:30 in the morning. It's pray every day. I'm going to start, in fact, in the next couple weeks, I'm going to run a 5K. I know, shocking.
I'm going
Well,
Sunday. Pray for me
yeah, well, I will add you to my prayer list, right? 80 ounces of water a day. I just you grab your mug. This is
every day.
40 ounces. So I drink 2 of those a day. And so this is one of the things, 40 DMs a day. And what that is I'm literally every day I'm sending out 40 DMs, whether it's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's LinkedIn. And I'm just saying, yo, Tyrell, man, hope you have a great day. I love you, bro. Talk to you soon. Done. And just how can I lift some people up? And I do it every day, every day. I mentioned David Whisker earlier. I sent him a voice message this morning and I said, D-Dub, I'm like, I love you, man. You are a champion. I said, you should have a championship belt, and he's like, I love you, dude. You know what? And you get fired up and it's fun. It's fun to lift people up with no expectation of anything back,
And
you
when you
know?
give love out, it comes right back.
That's right. So 40 DMs a day, one video a day, whether that's going on social or that's a DM video or with my daughters or whatever that is. And then 20 comments a day. So I try to get online for my personal and for our Perfect Crust page and comment every day, because if you comment, and that one's a little like selfish in a way, because to help grow our stuff, if you comment every day from a business standpoint, if it's us, if it's Grande, if it's Stanislaus, pick out anybody in our industry. If they'll start commenting every day on people's posts, their social engagement goes through the roof.
Agree.
So if I do those things, and I won't read you my personal stuff, but if I do those things, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 things on here that I will get those things. If I do these simple things every day, we try to complicate life sometimes, and it's not that hard. Just do the simple things and do them consistently, and good things will happen.
I love it. I'll show you mine since we took it there, and I
Wait,
keep it right.
did we just say I'll show you mine if you show me yours? Is that what we
We
just did?
we just did that.
I like it. Guys,
We
you're
are
laminating too.
we're best friends now. So mine's very simple. It's the house rules. It's 3. Number 1, always be productive. Number 2, raise your sense of urgency. And number 3, make adjustments, not excuses. And that's all that matters every single day is let's go do something. Let's do it. Let's do it with urgency and make adjustments because it's going to be hard. We don't make
Yeah.
excuses.
Yeah.
I got 3 boys here, 13, 11, and 11. And they can't see me quit. They already give me a bunch of
Pray
crap
for
for
you.
being unemployed. So I got to be productive, or they're gonna give me a hard time.
Yeah. No, I have mine laminated a little smaller than yours. Like I said, it's in my pocket. That way I see it. I mean, I look at it 20 times a day because I'm, because what I do is I don't, I used to like put all my stuff on my phone. And so driver's license, couple of cards, they're right there. So if I'm going somewhere, I gotta look at it. I
Yes.
gotta see it. And by the way, to talk about that, your last one, make adjustments, right? I
Yes.
think
Right.
that's one of the most interesting things is that we do get very stuck on this is the way I do it, right? And
Hmm.
this is the way I've always done it. I'll tell you, it just popped in my head. I was at a food show when I got here. It was probably 6 years ago. And I'm in Jersey. And this kid comes up and he's probably in his mid 20s. And I said, hey, I've got one of these in my hand. I'm like, so what are you putting in your pizza box? And he goes, oh, we do wax paper. And he said, oh, I said, oh, you do wax paper. Why do you do that? He said, well, that's what my dad always did. And I looked at him straight in the face. And I said, well, my dad used to beat the shit out of me when I was a kid, but we don't do that anymore.
Somebody had to make an adjustment somewhere.
And it was me, right? And you can bleep that out. But you know what he did? He looked at me, he goes, I'll take a sample. Because we are allowed to change,
Yes.
right? We're allowed to change. We're allowed to adjust. That was it's adapt and adjust. And I find one of the most interesting things about life, especially with having a goal card, I've been doing this for a long time, is that when you write down what you want and then you adjust and change your life to do those things and you put action behind that stuff, good stuff happens. Good stuff happens.
You got to do it with intention, man. You
Yep.
can't let it happen to you. You got to go
That's
make
right.
it. Got to go
That's
make
right.
it happen. So let's talk about, since we're kind of going to that direction anyways. Let's talk about the book.
Now, I don't
This
care.
isn't the
I want to
first
talk
book.
about you. I want to talk about you. Now, you know what? This was Amazon bestseller, and it's great. I think it's great, and I'll send you a copy of it. It's common sense stuff that's just always worked for me in my life. And what's interesting when you write a book and then you go back and this book's been out for a few months, and I just started rereading it lately. Just to kind of like, chapter 17, don't just show up on purpose. you know and one of my favorite things, and this is maybe a little bit of me, a little bit of Mike Bausch from Andolini's Pizzeria in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was you talking about showing up on purpose and don't half-ass stuff, full ass. That Mike and I said, you got to go full ass,
I've said
right?
it many times.
Yeah, I mean, if you're to show up and not give something your full energy, you're not doing what God wants you to do. I've always felt like that. Like if you're going to do something, go full ass, give it 100%. Because if you don't, you'll regret it. And if you don't want to go full 100% on it, it's probably not something you really want to do anyway.
It's not in it.
So, heavily caffeinated today, and I will tell you something else. It's in the book too. Just thinking about from I think we think about the word intuition, and we think my intuition said, don't go down that dark alley. Right. But I think intuition is God talking to us. And I think there are moments in time when we hear, hey, do this. Right. And then sometimes we take that moment of, man, well, why did God tell me and my daughters, and we'll do it today. We go to Goodwill every Wednesday, right? My daughters love to buy stuff. My 13-year-old, she's all about fashion, right? So it was a couple weeks ago. We're at Goodwill, and we were checking out. There was an older lady there, and it was $14.50 or 14.40, and she pulls out this little old coin purse, and she's fiddling through, and I went, bloop. Just something inside of me said, just pay for that. I went, bloop. And a lady behind the counter, she got teary-eyed. She said, ma'am, your stuff's paid for. And it was, you know what? For me, I always feel like, and I buy breakfast a lot, like for people behind us, if we're at McDonald's, I'll buy
Yeah.
breakfast.
Pay it forward.
I took my daughters the other day to a place here in town, Osaka, which is one of those like Benihana places where they cook, for us.
Uh-huh.
It was Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, and there was a couple. There was the three of us, and there was an older couple sitting down here, and I could hear them talking, and it was their anniversary, right? And so the lady came out, and we've eaten, and so I said, get their dinner. They were the sherbet or the ice cream at the end, they were still eating. They had no idea. And we had left and we paid. And my daughter said, did you pay for their food? And I said, yeah. She goes, I love that. Here's my thing. I've always thought this, that if God puts that on my mind or on my heart to do something for you, right? And I don't do that, just man, I think you just pissed off God,
Yeah, because
right?
you're probably answering somebody else's prayer.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Is that sometimes when God puts something on you to do something for somebody else, it's not about what you're going to get from it; it's what they need. And God forbid, the day that you need something poured into you and you blow that off, or that somebody else blows that off, well, then you missed out that day. And so I don't, man, I listen to that, man. I listen to, and I'm real big on, like, if I thought about you and you popped into my mind, hey bro, what's going on? How's it going? How can I help you? What's up? Some of that stuff takes 2 seconds, and yet we blow it off and we ignore it. And I'm just telling you, the day that I need that and somebody ignores that, I'm gonna be pissed off. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you spend your life giving it out. We talk about you give,
Yeah.
and you receive.
Yeah.
But when you give that energy and you give love, it's only natural that it comes back. And maybe somebody isn't in the right space to give it back in the moment, but that's on them. You know what I mean? That's on them.
Or
And
it comes back from someone else, or it comes
yeah,
back in a different way, shape, or form. It just does. That's life, right? So
yeah,
you get what you give, man. Man, give with a heart of no expectation of anything in return, and watch your personal life, your family life, your business just flourish.
absolutely. Man, gratitude plays such a huge role,
Huge,
such a
man.
huge factor in success or just happiness
Yeah,
in
yeah,
general. What
yeah.
are some of the other pillars in the book?
Well, there's 26, so there's a lot, right? But a lot of this is about gratitude. It's gratitude. To really boil this down, it's about action, right? And it's being thoughtful about what you want and how do you get it, and how do you take that and intertwine it with gratitude. And I say thankful with FULL, being thankful, being full of thanks, right? And just rolling with it and just doing little things, and because little things equal big things. And so that book is a lot about that. And it's a lot about showing up every day,
Yes.
going full ass. And you always have to do this, right? Full
You,
ass.
you, you can't, well, because this isn't full.
Yeah, that's just half,
That's
right?
half an ass.
Yeah, but you got to grab all the ass, or be all the ass, and put yourself out there and see what happens. I think you and I talked about this before we started recording, but doing things like this, doing things like this, when you first do it, it's uncomfortable, and it feels weird, and like, I don't, and we're sitting there at Pizza Expo Columbus, and I get interviewed like 6 times, and I have a couple of new guys that are like, dude, I'm like, I've done this 100 times. Like, this is 1,000 times. It's not that big a deal, to me. But that's how you get better at doing anything, is to do it and to take the step and to get out of your comfort zone. And somebody the other day said you got to think. They said, oh, well, people say you got to think outside the box. We don't even have a box. And we're gonna try everything. We don't care, And that's how you get better. You fail, and you got to fail forward. You got to fail and learn from it. If you fail and you're in the same spot, you didn't learn anything.
You have to be willing to. And even as a baker, as a pizza maker, it's not always right. It's not always perfect. I've learned a ton just, over the last 2 years after doing certain things for one, we did things a certain way for so long. And then the world opens up and you're communicating with different folks and you're learning different things. You're like, damn, I didn't know how to make pizza at all. Let me
Yeah.
let me go try this recipe, or let me go try that. And I think that's part of the enjoyment of the process, in learning and growing and making some mistakes and then coming back. And the kids are like, dude, I got like a little notebook that I keep all of my recipes and my dough practice. Like, and I need notes, because if not, how am I going to get better? How do we adjust if we don't learn?
Yep. Yep.
So that's
I see so many people, that go to Pizza Expo as an example, that they'll go and they'll be there for 3 days, and they'll walk that floor and they'll see all that stuff, but they don't go to one demonstration. They don't pay to go to any classes. And that's where you're going to learn.
absolutely, that's what,
Get
and
to
that's
the
what I love the
do.
most is get out there and go learn. I think, my first expo, years and years and years ago, we saw the Dough Doctor, and rest in peace.
Yes, sir.
But it was like, dude, this is where it's at, because we don't get this any other, like, YouTube wasn't really a thing, and we weren't watching videos and all of these different channels that we have now. It was like you had to go there and learn. So that was what kept me coming back, was to go. And speaking of Mike Bausch, I was in his session just this past year. You go there to learn. And some people go to connect and network and do all that, but I was always a big fan of going there to learn because you come back so fired up, and the team was always ready for whatever. Like, okay, T and J, they're coming back from Expo. We're about to do something totally different. Sometimes it stuck, sometimes it didn't, but you just go there, you get that energy, and you come back to your shop like ready. I love
Yeah.
that part of it. That's
Yeah.
actually
I do
my
too.
favorite part.
I'll tell you what, for us, what's fun is that you see some of those manufacturers that are there, and when the show ends at 4 o'clock, they're gone. Right, they're at their hotel bar having cocktails, and then they show up the next morning. And for us, we like to expo different. So we're gonna break out. We're gonna, I Pizza Expo Columbus. I got to go watch Will Grant speak, and then I'm in the demo area checking that stuff out. And there's so much cool stuff from a manufacturer standpoint that happens around Pizza Expo
Hmm.
that other people in our industry they don't care. They don't take advantage of it. They don't. I want to learn. I want to learn so I can be a resource. And do I want to open a pizzeria? Nope, never. Right. But I want to know. I mean, I have a pizza oven here at the house, and my daughters and I we did a little fundraiser last weekend for youth services of Creek County here in our area. And we sold 26 pizzas, and we collected $650 in donations. And we're dropping that off tomorrow afternoon. And you know what? We made pizza at home.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, I mean, am I making a pizza like Tony Gemignani? Nope. Nope, but they're pretty dang good because I've learned some of the right products to use.
Yeah. You
And,
get the
and
right
what I'm
products, the right techniques, you got the right equipment.
Yep,
It makes a difference.
yep, no doubt, no doubt.
What are you looking forward to learning as you go forward in this business? And, not just as a sales, as a listen, I don't even know what to call you because you're not a salesman. You're a, you're a ambassador for
Brand ambassadors.
brand ambassador for it. But what do you, and as a father, as an author, like just as a man, what are you looking forward to learning and doing, next year?
I mean, man, that's the biggest loaded question out there, right? Like, I mean, I think for me, it's just trying to be better every day.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I say this a lot, and I have a wonderful 28-year-old son who's incredible, right? And beautiful, amazing, smart wife, and they have a baby on the way. And I have a 13 and a 6-year-old, and I already said that. But I feel like I'm a really good father, but
Yes.
I still feel like I fail them. Like I fail them, and
How so?
I'm getting choked up just thinking because I like want to be better,
Hmm.
and yet we still look back on days that they were like, why wasn't I there for that? Or why didn't I stop and take a moment just to talk? And you look at that and be a better dad. That's it.
Be a better dad.
That's it.
That's a hell of a goal. That's a hell of a goal. You think you wake up every morning going after that? You can't fail.
Nah,
You
no.
can't fail.
Because you know what? I could sell $1 billion worth of bumpy paper, right? And yet laying on my deathbed, I'm not gonna wish I'd sold more bumpy paper. It's gonna be
Yeah.
like, hey, was I good with them?
Dude, I know the feeling, and I'm here now, but there was a time where, in the corporate world, I was traveling, I was working for Fuzzy's Taco Shops out of
Yeah.
Fort Worth, Texas,
Yep.
and working the region, franchise support consultant, just gone. On a plane Monday, home Thursday evening, on the computer or in the pizza shop on the weekends, and, prepping to go back out, Sunday. I was missing. And my son, I've told this story before, but my son, Dallas, my youngest, he drew a picture, like a family picture of them, everyone at the park, and I wasn't in the picture.
Oh
And
man.
that shit almost like broke me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And as much as I love, the family that I built there at Fuzzy's, and the work that we done, we opened a ton of restaurants. I, got to, and my family here enjoy tons of benefits from that time because we make money, and, we got to travel and do all these things, but missing that and that happening to me changed, and I couldn't find an opportunity to get closer to home fast enough. And it really puts into perspective what really matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm just thinking about that for you. Like that would I couldn't imagine. Just the
so
just the feeling in the pit of your stomach of like, whoa, that ain't good.
yeah, that was a rough one. That was a rough one because it was real life for him, and he drew that, and not to he didn't do it to hurt me. He just did it because that's what his reality was.
Right, right. That's probably, as a someone that's motivated to be successful, I think it's finding that balance of how can I be successful, but yet realizing that at the end of the day, I mean, what do they say? Like, hey, the reality is at the end of the day, if I got fired today or if I died today, they're posting my position tomorrow, right?
That's right.
Life goes on, you know, life goes on. And so it's like, how can you be better I don't know if Greg talked about this when he was on, but I hate when people talk about work-life balance. I think it's kind of a weird, but it's work-life integration. So how can I
He
work?
mentioned that your philosophy about
Yeah,
work-life
well, because
integration.
because I feel like I think there's, how can I work all this in to where I'm not taking away from them, right? But there are moments when I'm sitting watching a football game and I still maybe sitting there, sending some DMs or responding to some email, but I'm not taking away from them, you know. And I think there's a healthy balance of the integration of how you make it all work, and it's important. I think Zig Ziglar, if you remember Zig Ziglar had this I saw him live a couple of times. I saw him in Springfield, Missouri, and he's up on stage and he said the biggest problem with American workers is, and he runs over there. He goes, when we're at work, we're thinking about being at home. And he runs the other side, right? And he goes, and then when we're at home, we're thinking about, we're thinking about being at work. And he said, consequently, we don't get anything done. And so I think sometimes for me, it's how can I be impactful here today with this certain time that way when I shut this laptop, I'm done. I don't got to think about it, and it was for me this year. There were three things that we were trying to really focus on, and one was how can we use AI to our advantage, and so we've done that throughout the course of this year. Then that's one side of it. And then the other side, I'm going to speak out of the other side of my mouth, was how can we actually be on the phone with people, right? Make
Making real
actual real
connections.
phone calls and real connections, right? And then the other one was was we want to be wildly successful. But that doesn't mean we all know this person back from when you worked at Fuzzy's Tacos. That guy, I worked 74 hours this week. Like, who cares? That
Yeah.
just tells me you're not good at your job.
Yeah.
So how can we do our job? And hey, look, if you can cram 8 hours of work into 4 hours and you're successful and our team's hitting the numbers, good,
Teach me
good,
what you did.
yeah, good. Because the guy that brags about working 70 hours a week, I look at you and think, well, you're an inefficient dumbass if that's what you're doing.
Right on.
It's work smarter, not harder. But it's a Ziegler thing, man. When you're at work, be at work. Don't be at work thinking about being at home. And when you're at home, don't think about work because you won't get anything done. The
Yes.
truth's in the middle. You got to find that middle ground and do the things you need to do and get them done, knock them out, move on. You
Man, I
know,
love it. I mean, all the philosophies are all things that we know, but we don't always do it, right? Live in the moment, do
100%.
things with intention, be authentic. All those things matter so much. Thank you for being that constant reminder of it because of what you carry in your pocket, it's gonna make you get up and probably push somebody else to be a little bit better every day.
Yeah, and then I was just gonna say that for me is having that in my pocket and knowing I need to do these things. If I do these things, I know I'm successful. I'll tell you, like, one of his like 10, I walk 10,000 steps a day, 5 miles pretty much every day.
I know I see your tracker all the time.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, man, the days if I don't not hit it very often, right? And it was a couple weeks ago. I literally got up on a Saturday, it was cold, and I'm like, I ain't gonna do it today. I just like I let myself. I'm off the hook. I'm not doing it today. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, Tyrell. I'm not doing it. Freaking 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, shit. I
Got to
gotta
go
do it.
do it. I
I
got
gotta
to
do it
go do it.
because I know if I don't do it, I know I've let myself down, and I
Mhm.
feel like just a troll when I don't do it. Like I feel like if I don't do it one day, I gain like 25 pounds. But
You will.
you can't see it, but some people you might think I have love handles. I'm just high hipped, right? But if I don't do that every day, if I don't drink my water every day, if I don't walk every day, man, my hips get a little higher. It's weird,
It's
So
a terrible relationship we have with pizza, forcing you to have to,
pizza and
do
wine,
all
dude.
the do all that shit every day. It drives me
Yeah,
crazy, but I have to do it because I also have to eat pizza.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, I know we're bumping up against it here, right? So can I just throw out one thing that's been on my mind lately?
Please.
So, and I think I said this to you earlier, but I feel like the miss in social media is that people use it for negativity, right? To bitch and complain and whine and politics. And I said this, I think meteorologists are the biggest propaganda pushers on the planet. And when I said it, they're like, what? Like you think about meteorologists, they'll be like 7 days out hyping a snowstorm that may or may not even happen. And the reason they do that, if you're watching this, is for one reason: money. Because they want you to go to their website to look at their ads, or they want to sell that crawl on the bottom, or they want to sell the radar ad. It's about money.
All
And
of it.
that's why they push that stuff. So you know what? You got a weather app on your phone. Pay attention. Look at that and feel better. But unfollow politics, unfollow meteorologists, unfollow the news, and watch your life get better. And take social media and look at that digital footprint that'll be there forever. By the way, there's a stat out there that, did you know 80% of people will get on Facebook and they'll look at their memories every day, and yet they don't post shit, right?
But they
So they're looking at the memories even though there's nothing there. And so the reality is you need to use social media as your online digital footprint and a diary, and post video, man. Take all the video of your kids, your family, you doing whatever, and post it. And if people don't like it, they're not your friends. Who cares if somebody,
percent. No, it
and
doesn't matter. You do
it
it for
doesn't
you.
matter. It's mine. It's mine for me to do what I want with it. And I will tell you, I've spoken about this at a couple of events, and I had a lady one day say, "Well, I'm just worried about, I'm just posting too much and have my friends just like you, it's too much." And I said, "You know what? My mom is a favorite on Facebook. I still don't see all of her stuff, right? Social media is a moving parade. Post what you want on your stuff that's there forever, because it is going to be there forever." I mean, I've got people I know that have been on Facebook 16, 17 years. It's not going away, because here's the problem, man. You die and somebody stops paying service on this thing, and the 8,000 photos that you took,
They
gone.
never got posted. Don't live anywhere. Nobody got to experience it.
Right. Right. And then doing stuff like this video will probably get viewed tens of times, right? You said that they're 10.
Dozens.
Hey, I'm going to get us 400 views, but it'll get viewed, right? But it'll be out there forever. And what's cool is my daughter's 6. And I'll tell you one of the things I think about, and this is weird. I'm 55. She's 6. Okay. Let's say she gets married at 20 years from now. She's 26 years old. She's getting married. Homeboy could be dead and gone. I'll
Yeah,
be 75. I could be gone, right? But this is here forever. And she can come back to this and go, that was my dad, you
that's
know?
right.
Hey, kids, that was your grandfather. Look at him. Look at him and Tyrell, friggin' idiots. Look at those two talking about pizza and stuff. You know what? I mean, it's out there forever. And I would challenge people to look at your social media from that standpoint, that it's there forever. And it's a way to show your family and your kids what you did and who you were and what you were about. And shoot, it's so, we're doing a video podcast. You can get on Spotify and you can set up an audio podcast like that.
And do it from your car. You can do it
Dude,
from the kitchen. You
your
can do.
phone,
I tell anyone start a podcast just to record your
your
experiences. I
thoughts,
mean,
your
yeah,
life.
man, just to document it.
100%.
I love what you said about the memories, and there was a memory that I had that it's funny. And I wasn't on social media before I started like kind of doing all of this. So it's been about 5 years now. I was like anti social media, and I hate that I didn't because I missed all of those early days of documenting the kids and growing up.
Yeah,
But I had
yeah.
a picture of we were in one of our shops, actually a shop that actually closed during COVID. But it was a picture of my kids. One of them at one side of the counter, the other one's over by the Pepsi machine. And I didn't notice it until years later, looking at the memory, that my other son was there, but I could only see his tiny little fingers over the counter.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh my God, Adrian's in that picture. I had no idea when we took it. I thought it was just the two boys forever. And then all of us we just noticed it. Like, you see that little hand? That was my other son. And I'm like, dude,
that's
that's
so
you
cool.
right there. So it's like, I'm glad that memory is there and those pictures are there, because that gave me a whole another layer of it. And we don't have that shop anymore, and I can't go there, and we can't they don't remember it. So it's like that was a great memory, and I love that it popped up that way because we were all there.
No, that's it. I'm just telling you, people just they don't use social, in my opinion, the right way. And I was going to pull up a couple of pictures, but you know what? I won't because it doesn't matter. But I have like photos of my daughters that I literally looked at my Facebook memories today and pulled up a couple of pictures from 4 years ago. I'm like, I said to Mike, look how little you were, and it's just such a great reminder that, hey, life changes, but it's okay to look back at those good memories, but it's today, you
Yeah.
know, it's today and it's moving forward. But I love that. I love that. I find it humorous that 80% of people look at Facebook memories but the reality is 50% of them don't post anything.
That is wild. I love, and I'm now starting to like post it memories because it's like, oh, this was my mindset back then, or this was, I can't believe this is what I was thinking or what we were working on. And a lot of it still applies to what we're doing today. So, and I love to show my son, memories of when he loved taking pictures with me or for me because
Right.
he's 13 now and he don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do this a lot with my daughters, like especially in the morning before they go into school, where I'll get my phone out and just say, "Hey, what are you thankful for today? What are you looking forward to?" Or I'll ask them, "What's your favorite song?" Right, gun to your head, what's your favorite song? You know, and it's so funny. I'm in this mastermind group, and I shared a comment with these guys the other day where I said, "You know what's so cool? When COVID hit, 5 years ago, whatever that was, a lot of these guys in this mastermind group had never done video, just never experienced any of that. And they all got better at it. But yet, here's my 6-year-old daughter. We did a video on Saturday for donations for this pizza stuff. And dude, she's right at the camera. Like, she's right at the camera. She's like, she's done it enough. She knows.
Yes.
She knows. And I love that they're both comfortable like that in front of the camera, that, they get it. They know why I'm doing it. And they and
Yeah.
it's cool. I guess maybe to come full circle about what I was saying is just that, man, use your social media to document your life. And when those people say, well, that's just your highlight, you're damn right, it's my highlights.
It's
That's what it is.
mine.
My life. It's my highlights. I'm not getting on here complaining. Or one of my favorites is people will say, well, that's just your highlights. And I tell them, I say, that term keeping up with the Joneses, that's been around long before social media. Right. I remember my dad once buying this blue Pontiac Oldsmobile station wagon. And that dude hadn't been to church in 6 months. But by God, we drove it to church on Sunday and he left a sticker on so everybody knew. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the same, it's the same
It's a
concept.
highlight reel.
It's the same kind. Like, look what we did. Look what we did.
Yeah.
And so if somebody says it's just your highlights, who cares? Then don't look at my stuff.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to follow. Don't follow. Don't
Yeah.
like. They're going to watch it anyways. Who cares?
Yep.
Just
Yep.
post it. The Eric Bam, you are the man, my friend.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. This was fun.
Thank you so much for joining me. I know that we're going to do this again. I will see you in Vegas. I was at your booth last year. I didn't get a chance to meet you, but I did spin the wheel. I met Brian. Spin the wheel.
Sorry about that.
Got a hat and made my partner jealous because he kept spinning and all he got was like a sticker or some shit. It's
Spinning
pretty funny.
the wheel of death, huh?
he
I
tried
always
a
call it
couple
the
of
wheel of
times.
death. No one's ever died, but I always call it the wheel of death,
So I'm like, one shot, bam, got the hat. And he was pissed. He tried so hard.
Love it. Love it. Well, if he needs a hat, I'll get you one. But
I think Greg sent me one coming
okay,
soon.
good.
But I
Good.
appreciate you
Awesome.
guys.
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you having me on. And you know what? To talk about work for just a second, we say samples equal sales. And if somebody's watching this and they want to try Perfect Crust Pizza Liner, Eric at Perfect Crust, I'll send you 5 cases. Whatever you need, whatever you want to try. So,
Very, very, very good. I'll put that in the show notes. We'll put your email address and, just appreciate you guys for always, lifting up the pizza community.